Oh, he is one of the most generous men with his time, considering the responsibilities that he has over the next few days. Aidan O'Brien, you've seen the horses go out, Aidan. First of all, just an overall impression of how everyone's settled in so far.
Yeah, good. Rishi, everything went well. They did a trot and then they stood in the stalls in bunches of 3s and 4s, and then they did another trot and they did just a canter similar to yesterday, but just a fraction quicker.
And just going into the stalls, by the way, is that something you've done before, getting them all through the stalls?
Yeah, we have. We've kind of slowly learned that they have to be quick and then they have to slow down and they have to relax. So we've all, hopefully, we think the quick work done at home, and then it's just to finish them off by just get them to chill a little bit when they come here.
Excellent, thank you. I want to keep you in a good mood, but I've got to ask you about the last 48 hours, Aidan, because obviously it's been a testing time. You're always someone that puts perspective on things, but after Jan Bruegel, obviously Ylang also out, how easy has it been to put perspective on it?
I know, listen, it's reality of life. That's the way it is. That's stuff, and stuff doesn't usually matter. That's the reality of life.
All right, thank you. We're going to go through the horses, if you don't mind, starting with Whistle Jacket, who goes for the Juvenile Turf Sprint, along with Ides of March, and their respective merits.
The first one, yeah, he's good. We're happy. Obviously, it's quick, it's fast. We felt maybe Ryan thought the last day he maybe should have went forward more urgently from the stalls and kept going. So, but he still ran well. So we think he's a quick horse, and whether he'll find this a little bit foreign, it'll be very fast and rapid around here. But we think and hope he should run well.
Ides of March also in there?
Yeah, he's a fast horse. We think he's going to be a sprinter for next year. He's probably doesn't know as much about sprinting as the Whistle Jacket, but he's going to learn a lot today or on a Friday. So we think that will stand him in good stead for next year.
You've got the two fillies in the Juvenile Turf in Heaven's Gate and Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria obviously has been quite tremendous, and she looks completely to have all the credentials you'd want. Heaven's Gate has gradually seemed to be pretty consistent, but getting a little bit better.
She is, and working very well. Her last piece of work was very good. Remember when Ryan won on her first time, or rode in Navan first time, he said that she felt like a filly that wanted 7 or a mile. We never went to 7 until the last day, and she won that over group race. She's a big, hardy, strong filly. Very happy with her. Could run a very big race. And yeah, she's very good. She's what she did has been exceptional this year. She won her maiden over 7, her trial for the Migler over 7, and then won the Migler over 7, and then right back to 6. When Ryan came in after the Cheveley Park, he said a very unusual thing. He said, we'll go for the fillies mile with her. So that was a very unusual thing to say, but obviously he felt a mile was very comfortable within our compass. We just felt that to go back to the fillies mile in 2 weeks might be a bit quick, and obviously John and Michael and Derek, they all decided obviously to if she was going to go a mile this year, this would be lovely for her. It's a lovely flat track. Stepping up to a mile, she's a filly with a lot of class, so we're looking forward to seeing her run.
Interesting thoughts there. The turf for the juveniles, you, Chad Brown and Charlie Appleby have dominated that race. You've got Henri Matisse in the race. How do you think he'll bounce back from last time? Yeah,
we think he will very well. Ground's a little bit soft in Longsham. I put blinkers on him and I shouldn't have had. He was a little bit immature when he got to the front in the National Stakes, and probably a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to put blinkers on him that quick. I should have left him alone, and he got tightened early in the race in Longsham and it frightened him a little bit. So I think it was more my fault than his. He came out of the race very well, and that's why we decided to come here. Lovely ground, a mile, flat track. We think it'll do him good. We learn a lot about him, and he will learn a lot. So he's drawn wide, so I'd imagine Ryan will take his time on him and see what happens after halfway, then he'll see where he is. And he's a horse in all his first 3 runs, doesn't mind coming from the back, quickens well, and obviously doesn't do much when he gets there, which we have seen. So hopefully he'll run well.
Okay. The Breeders' Cup Turf, you've got Luxembourg and Wingspan. Luxembourg's been such a lovely, honest horse for you over the seasons. Do you think this test will suit him?
We think it will. He's obviously been playing second or third fiddle to all our horses in other races, so this is the first time he's kind of been left standalone. We think fast ground will suit him. We think a mile and a half will suit him well. We think the track will suit him. So looking forward to seeing him run. He's a nice draw, very uncomplicated horse, and we think it should hopefully all suit him.
And Wingspan's obviously in this race rather than the filly and mare turf. How did you come to that decision?
Yeah, she got a mile and a half very well in Ascot. Shawnee rode her, and he felt if he had went quicker, he'd have been closer. So that means she was getting a mile and a half very well. Obviously, this is a mile and a half. The fillies uses 1 mile and 3. Very uncomplicated filly as well. So we're looking forward to seeing her and could run a very big race.
Content is the one that runs in the filly and mare turf, and how do you think her chances will shape up for that?
Yeah, she the last day we took our time on her. There was no pace in the race, and if you take your time in no pace on bad ground at Ascot, you just can't get into it. It was a little bit like that in Longchamp the time before. We took our time as well, no pace, soft ground. There was 1.25 miles, so just never got into it. So I'd say you probably put a line through her last 2 runs. She had a very good run in the Breeders' Cup last year as a juvenile, coming home very well. So we think and hope it should suit her. She'll have to, I'd imagine Ryan will take his time on her early and see where he is the second half.
Diego Velasquez runs for you in the mile. Sad people like me sit and go through every bits of form in lead up to the race. He's only run left-handed 3 times in his life, all at Leopardstown admittedly, but those are the 3 wins that he's ticked off on his record. I think he could run a big race here against horses that are better fancied. What is your belief about his chance?
Yeah, funny about him, we stepped him up in trip, and as we stepped him up in trip his form went back, and when we pulled him back in trip he got quicker and got better. So like you said, loved Leopardstown, loved left-handed, Love was very comfortable at a mile, so we think like every time we shortened him back he got better. So this could be the shortest he has been over kind of a mile. This will be a very sharp mile, so hopefully jump well and could run hopefully a very good race.
And then, of course, we come to the race that everyone around here has been talking about, and that is City of Troy going for the Classic. How has he settled in? What are your sentiments about his preparation? Yeah,
no, everything's went well. We're very happy. He's really coming alive. He was very live on the track this morning. He's wanting to go forward, and that's the way we wanted him to. He stood in the stalls and he was very good. So it will be interesting. This is obviously what we've been dreaming about all the time. We think we've a nice draw. He seems very well. He's 2 more days to go cantering on the track, and listen, we're excited to see what's going to happen. Obviously we don't know. We think we've looked under every stone. We think he's obviously unbelievable ability. We feel that he's a great horse. So if everything falls right for him, and hopefully we'll get a good look at him and see what happens. And but we're looking forward to it and excited about see what could happen.
You've spoken about looking under every stone with regards to him. You talked about the guineas, and perhaps you didn't look under 1 or 2. What do you think would be the major factor, the most important factor, in order to give him the best chance of winning? Is it the break from the gates? Because people talk about the draw, etc. Is that the most important thing?
I think it'll have to be a big help. Obviously, Ryan can't do anything about that. All he can do is go with him when he does come out, and hopefully he won't miss a beat, and he lands where he wants to be and travels the way Ryan wants him to travel, really. So obviously it was our job to prepare him, and then obviously Ryan will go out there and it'll be his job to ride him. So hopefully all those things we'll have done properly for him, and then hopefully things will fall the way he wants. Like, obviously we never know what's going to happen, but it's a race we're looking forward to and excited about it. Listen, we'll enjoy the journey up to it, and then hopefully we'll enjoy the race, and hopefully everything will go well.
One thing people often talk about when they talk about horses coming here and running against the Americans on the dirt, they say they'll never have experienced anything like the pace that they go, and they said that might be something that might catch him out. Are you confident that should he break and everything go well from the gates, that he can lay up, maybe even go forward even further against the fastest American horses ever temporarily? Yeah,
never confident, always hopeful. That's the way it always is. You never know. He's naturally high cruiser. He's aggressive. Like, obviously he's never going to witness or feel this kind of pace before, but he was always at his best going forward, and we obviously restricted him from going forward after the Guineas, and then we slowly had to get him back to come here, and that's why when he went forward in York, and then we went to Suddle and went forward a bit stronger, and then this should be the next step. So hopefully we have him in the right place, and hopefully he lands out the gate, doesn't miss a beat, and travels, and yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what happens. We always felt that this is a kind of a race he'll suit, high pace cruise, and then they have to keep going. So listen, it'll be interesting.
I'm constantly aware of the time. I don't want to keep. I've just got 2 more questions I want to ask you, Aidan. One was about you've mentioned about how great a horse you think he is, and I know you've been asked the question about how horses that are rated higher than him obviously don't seem to get the same attention. What is it that you see that makes him, in your opinion, the greatest?
Yeah, so he was always special to us. His movement, his ability, his cruise, his attitude, his determination, his aggression, all those things. His makeup, the way he's put together. He's very compact. He looks much smaller horse than he really is when you stand into him and you realise how big he is. So all the things make him different. And his movement is a massive one. He's big, long stride. He cruises, and he's aggressive and he's hardy, and you can see a lot of his dad in him and his granddad in him, you know. So he's always been an exciting horse. So he's nimble. All the things that make different horses different, and like obviously has a great pedigree to back it all up.
The last thing I'm going to ask you before I let you go, you have won just about everything, and you've won them multiple times. On the dirt at the Breeders' Cup, I think it's just Johannesburg who's won for you. What do you think this success, if you were to pull it off, would mean? What is it about this race that fires you and inspires you to want to win it so much?
Yeah, so obviously we've never won it. We've got beaten with some great horses in it, and obviously we felt that maybe our preparation wasn't right with a lot of different stuff. Obviously we're preparing horses in a different continent and different surface. All the things are different. Like obviously it would be something unbelievable to happen, but that doesn't make it happen, obviously, by being that way. So but we will keep trying, and we kind of try to improve our preparation. And obviously the most important thing is the horse. You have to have the horse with the ability, the genetic makeup, and really want it, and then obviously you have to have a great rider. And like obviously we think we are in that we have in Ryan, and we think we have the horse, so hopefully we have prepared him properly, and obviously we won't know that till he runs.
Aidan, thank you so much for spending so much time chatting about this, and I can't tell you how much I want him to win. Genuinely, as a racing fan as much as anything else, and I hope that he goes very close to doing it, and best of luck with all your runners.
Appreciate it, Rishi. Thank you very much.